All right, that we really get started. Thanks for coming back. I know coffee can be very tempting and the discussions are interesting. And I think we'll have more to talk about after the next round. We have parallel sessions, as you know. Part of it is upstairs, part of it is down here. The people who stayed down here want to find out what Tapio has to say about Nokia, because he's working for Nokia. And Tapio Hakanen, he's a designer, a producer and a DJ, started at the age of 14, his DJ career, and for many years he did cutting-edge electronics scene music, and at the same time started, actually, as you said, at the age of 15 already, you had your first projects working with brands, and later on in your life, the brands that you worked for, among them are Capgemini, Grey, and Warner, just to name a few. And the last 3 years, Tapio has been managing the sound design team of Nokia. Some of you might know that company. And he's responsible for Nokia's audio branding assets. He calls it assets because that's what they are. A lot of people don't use the word assets for that. And he's responsible for delivery of sounds to over 1 billion devices by Nokia. Prior to this, Tapio has worked amongst others for Disney, and he designed the Disney virtual world, Virtual Magic Kingdom. But that's not all. He does ad campaigns, movies, games, and he has several Producer of the Year awards. And as I mentioned before, he has an alter ego, which is called Orchidea, where he is as a DJ touring and performed at the Pasha and the Ministry of Sound, amongst others. He has released several top 40 albums, and you had a Christmas hit, so to speak, in Finland. Maybe you can play it to us or sing it to us, maybe not. Depends. It's almost Christmas, so you can still, right now we're still open, I think, to that. In 4 weeks, this is torture. So Tapio will be talking about the evolution of audio branding in mobile devices at Nokia. Please welcome Tapio.
Thank you, and hello everybody. So I manage the sound design team of Nokia Design, and we are more or less responsible for all the sounds in all Nokia devices. And I will talk about audio branding in mobile devices, covering 3 themes. I'll first talk about Nokia Tune and other audio brand assets, and then I'll talk about testing before, during, and after design. And then I'll put things into a little bit larger context of audio branding at Nokia. So let's start with Nokia Tune. So that is the default ringtone of all Nokia phones. And let's go to moment in time when the audio branding at Nokia started. So let's look at a short video about the evolution and history of Nokia Tune. So the last version you heard is the most recent version of Nokia Tune, and that video was also a teaser for our Nokia Tune crowdsourcing campaign. I'll be talking more about that shortly. And just a short summary to the history of Nokia Tune. So the melody is taken from blind Spanish guitarist Francesco Tarrega's Grand Vals piece from 100 years ago, and was used in very first Nokia TV ad for mobile phones in 1993. And then someone a year later got this great idea, hey, let's make a ringtone out of it in 1994. And ever since, it's been used as the default ringtone in all Nokia devices, so billions of them. And it's one of the most played and heard melodies in the whole world, heard or played over 1 billion times every day, which is pretty mind-bending number. And that is also the heart and soul of our audio identity. So when we design our audio identity, Nokia Tune is the first one, and we decide find the tonality and instrumentation for that. And then we take that instrumentation to the other key branded sounds like message, email, calendar, alarm clock. And then of course we have all of the rest of the sounds in our various operating system sounds like camera, battery, alarms, voice UI, and such. And to look a little bit more to the past, I'll play you how these different sounds have evolved during the years. So we have here something called welcome tone. So that is the sound that you hear when you switch on a Nokia phone. And we also call it the sound of the market share, which maybe here in the US is not so good name because the market share is what it is here. But when a plane lands in India or China and Western Europe, and when people start switching on their phones, that's a sound that you hear a lot. And I think that's a powerful asset when people are transmitting to their surroundings. I'm using a Nokia phone. So 2005, it sounded like this. And then 2 years ago, like this. And now like this. And then we have the sound for the message. A little bit harsh. And then the calendar reminder. And the email. So clearly there is a direction of simplification and making things more discreet and shorter. And then the alarm clock. And I've had some painful moments waking up to this one. So I don't think it was the perfect design back in the day. But we still thought that there is something recognizable in that. So thought, okay, how can we make that and make it sound nicer? And then taking this to the current tonality, simplifying it even more. The last for the sleepy heads. So and the latest tonality that you heard and the latest version of Nokia Tune, that was designed and was launched with the Nokia N9, and now it's then shipping in whole of our portfolio. So yeah, that was the first part, and that was the creative and musical part of what we do. And I wanted to also speak about perhaps the more scientific. It was interesting that the science part was brought up earlier today already. So, because this I think that this is what sets our sound design apart from the traditional sound design for movies or theater. So when we do design, it's quite close to traditional design, like industrial design, where it's quite user-centric. We need to acknowledge the differences in global preferences of people. We need to do testing before and during and after the design. And I just want to emphasize that we are not any kind of focus group driven design team or a user research driven design team. That's one tool in our toolbox. So we have this data, then we have our designers' instinct, we have our team's shared vision where we are going. We are also doing brand audits. We are paying close attention to what other brands are doing, and also general trends in sound design. And all of these then together affect on the output of our team. So I'll show you a couple small examples of the kind of user research data that we have. So here in this monster of a table, you probably can't see in the back, but it doesn't matter. So this was a massive study we did with people from 7 different countries. So we studied their personalization preferences in mobile with their mobiles. And for example, this chart is about their preferred music genre preferences. And if we look at the preference for rock, US 47%, China and Egypt around 10%. So we understand that the world is quite different here and on the other side of the planet. And this was done for over 3,000 people. And then this example is quite the opposite. So this, if the previous one was like a quantitative study, this is qualitative study. So for the Inline Project, we took the 30 user interface sounds and notification sounds and took them to 3 locations to 30 people, and we made people to mix and match the function with the sound. And to represent our team in a good light, I chose a successful one where we tested the message sound, which was not sure if you see, but it was pretty well associated with new message, action, successful, calendar, event, notification, in the right ballpark. But then again, for example, we were doing an error sound, and we wanted to make it the most pleasant error sound in the whole world, still communicating the errorness, and we were pretty happy with that. But then when we took it to the people, they were associating with a new chat message, new message, and action successful. So we thought, okay, we need to go back to the sound design board and do something else with that. And also something that we learned from this was that the preferences, especially in US and Asia, they're completely different. Like Americans, they prefer discrete, short notifications, and in Asia, they prefer very expressive, more like bigger sound. For example, we had the alarm clock that you just heard. There was one respondent in China who associated that with new message. So he was perfectly happy to have that 30-second piece of music playing every time he gets a text message. So it's quite different. It can be quite different there. And then this is the testing sounds after the design. So here we have global, what we call global ringtones, and then what we have locally flavored content. And on the top to bottom, we have local or global, and then we have not liked. And the green ones are the Chinese flavored ones. This was done in China, and the blue ones are the Western, the global ones. So here we can clearly see that the Chinese people, they preferred the locally flavored ones over the Western ones. And we noticed that especially China, India, and Middle East, they have so strong unified music culture that they prefer the local flavor over the global one. So I'll just play two examples. The Chinese one, which made quite well. And then a tone done by Henry Daw, our sound designer. Henry, raise your hand perhaps, who is also here. Western one. I cut it half, sorry Henry, to save some time. So those were some examples of the kind of studies that we do. And we also we've done brain scans, we've done brand audits, we do quite a lot of research, and that all like I said, feeds into our design design work. And then just taking things to larger context of audio branding. So I want to give some examples of the touch points that our team delivers at Nokia. So the device, of course, is the king and is the most important thing for us. And I could play, well, what I played previously early on, that was what we speak about as digital identity. So that is the very strong representation of the Nokia brand in the sonic form, and that's the default sound that you get out of the box. But then we also have content, something that we call digital content, so preloaded music tracks and ringtones and such, where there we think that there we acknowledge the variety in people's tastes and their preferences. So I'll play you compilation of the ringtones that we are delivering for next year's portfolio. So it's quite a varied bunch of sounds. And the device here is the Nokia Lumia 800, which was just launched a couple of weeks ago. And then I'll also play a short compilation of the local content that we have. And for that, obviously, we don't do that stuff by ourselves, but rather go to the source and find local agencies and people that we work with. Then the next important touch point would be communications. And for that, this is Nokia's digital brand book. So we have in the brand book, we have music library. So a lot of brands have their photo library, image library, where anyone can go and take photos and use them in presentations. So we also have a music library, which we produce and curate. So anyone at Nokia can go there and take a music track and use it in their videos. And in the age of YouTube, there are a lot of videos created, internal videos, external videos, and with good music, you can raise the perceived quality of the video very easily. Then we do events. We have been doing events for quite a long time. This image is from Nokia World. It's a big annual industry event for 3,000 people that we do. And with the event sound, I guess the purpose is that these events are extremely well designed visually, like every piece of furniture, carpet, imagery, signage, everything is super designed. But the sonic experience has been a little bit random in many cases. So our team's goal is that the whole experience from the beginning to the end is equally well designed. So that means the music used in the invitation to the event, when people come to the event, there is ambient soundscape like the one I just played. When they go to the auditorium before the whole thing kicks off, there is specifically done music mix for that, which is perfectly in sync with the kickoff video. They go to the massive expo, the music there is carefully selected. Even like the buses that take people to the after party, we thought that the atmosphere in the buses was dull 3 years ago, so we made some playlist, burned a lot of CDs, and made playlists for the buses to get people into the right kind of mood when going to the party. And it's not like we want to just pump out music. So often we think Hannu maybe. So we are pretty strong representation of Nokia here. So Hannu does a lot of the event work, and it's often like a scent, more like a scent that we want to inject to the event, not like pump out music all the time. And recently, during the last couple of years, we found out to be silence designers. Because in a massive event like that, everyone showing their device, their service from Nokia wants to add music. So we are the ones saying like, hold it, maybe we don't need this, maybe we don't need that, maybe the guy with the guitar there is too much, and so forth. It's not just like adding and adding, the silence is super important. And then the last touch point would be the internet. Like most of us know that the internet is very, very silent, especially in terms of audio branding. So this is a project we did together with a company called AudioDraft, who specializes in crowdsourcing audio creation and also especially the audio branding side of that. So we noticed that there were anyway a lot of people doing their versions of Nokia Tune, posting them to YouTube and so forth. So we thought, why not make it official, and why not make a contest out of it? And we made a global contest to create versions of Nokia Tune, and it was very, very successful. So we had 2,800 producers from 70 countries who did more than 6,200 versions of Nokia Tune. And we had, during a 6-week course, we had 1.7 million unique visitors to the site who listened to 13.5 million times different versions of Nokia Tune. So that, I don't know, that probably matched pretty well to some Spotify plays for some big artist. And also the fact that they listened to almost 10 versions on average when they came there, so it was pretty long time that they spent on the website. And clearly they liked it because they shared either the individual songs or the whole contest 124,000 times in social media. So when starting to calculate the contacts that the whole project got through that, it's pretty big numbers. And I'll play a couple of the runner-ups and finalists that we have. And second one. And then one more runner-up. And then the winner by Italian 22-year-old DJ from Milan. So, and I think that project just showed that people, they are interested and they want to participate, and also they are very, very passionate about audio brands or audio branding at best. So that was a short look into the audio branding at Nokia. So thank you.